you know, if you err. Naja banned as well by here by SK, and that leaves a ton of stuff still up. Achilles, King Arthur, Merlin, all need to be banned still at this point.
Let's see if the old noggin's still working for the picks and bans, because it's been a bit since we saw it last time. Hercules is a good ban here, I think, from Dignitas. You're in the first pick slot. You got to throw away ban to give, and Trixtank had some impact on it. He had a couple good Earthbreakers that were bringing people back into the team, but overall the damage really wasn't there.
Sure.
So keeping it out of Neil's hands and securing Achilles for yourself, I'm already liking the start for this for Dignitas.
Me too, especially with this Merlin taken off the board, probably the next highest value pick that was available. Now the question becomes, within this set itself, where do we see them go? The Habois has been highly valued, even this high up. I wonder if that's one that's going to be looked at. Remember, the Artemis was being picked by Dignitas, but after that shellacking that he got at the hands of the On Her from Zapman, Ataraxia might be wary about where exactly he picks that, so SK has to also keep that in their mind.
But maybe he forgot about it since then.
Because it's been so long.
Because it's been so long.
It happened a lifetime ago, truly.
So maybe it happens again.
Yeah.
You never know. Back to the Osiris, go SK. This is a good pick. Get Belair on that pick. The Fenrir again. Neil has had a set to not be forgotten, but a set that I think he could definitely improve upon.
Well, like 2 sets of worth of really of time.
Right,
sure.
right. But there has been a lot of minutes of SMITE game today where I think Neil has things that he's going to look at and try and improve upon.
Sure.
To go back to the Fenrir, I think, is a bit of a risk now, because you're not trying to save a pick anymore. You're not, holding back a strategy. It's game 5. This is it. So to say that this Fenrir selection is what we think is the best option at this exact moment is a bit surprising after that last game, but it did end up making an impact in the later stages and potentially winning them the game as they got Trixtank out of the way. So I guess that's the idea for SK, stick to their guns.
And they certainly will. Now we move the ball back into Dignitas' court, and they must decide where it is they'd like to go here with this next pick. Do they want to try and get the Habois for QvoFred yet again? That's one that not only do they want for themselves, but they've enjoyed taking that away from Paul, right? Not letting him play that pick. Though, to be fair, I don't know if Paul looked as if he really needed to be that wary of it earlier on in the set when he was playing it, but that's another one that could be looked to be valued. The Jingwei, if they want to grab that right away for Ataraxia, but no, they go right to the Hebo and grab him for Qvo.
And Erlang Shen, interesting. So it's going to be Erlang support, I'm guessing, here for Trixtank. Maybe it could be Habois mid for Hurriwind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great bluff now that it could go to QvoFred in the jungle, so yeah, it could certainly have some strength there.
Yeah, I actually like this for Dignitas. I like what we've got so far. It's definitely something that SK is not going to have an easy time banning against. And if I'm SK, I think there's some value here to, because I don't know exactly where these are going over there on Dignitas, to go for Hachiman and then ban away 2 hunters. And just kind of let Dignitas go with whatever they're going with over there, and just pick up and just make sure that Ataraxia isn't getting a comfort pick.
Right.
But instead, I guess they're going to prioritize what Paul would like.
And grab the Raijin for him to take him to the middle lane. That Raijin isn't hell, I'm noticing. Unfortunate.
It isn't. It is not. And
hell went so well for them last game.
Yeah, but it took them over an hour to win.
What are you saying? I mean, a win's a win.
It is.
If I'm SK, that doesn't factor in.
It might to me. I might say, I really want to win, but I really don't want to be here for another 62 minutes playing because my brain isn't working. So let's just win faster. And Raijin does that.
Raijin is good right away.
He wins faster.
He sure does. So that is one thing Raijin can bring for you. As Jingwei is banned out. So SK recognizes has been a comfort pick for Ataraxia, and they'll even have the last pick too. So I don't know if Ataraxia can ever feel comfortable grabbing up the Artemis, because the On Her can always come through in the back swing. Maybe SK even wait on picking up the Hunter and instead go into, well, I guess it would have to be their jungler with that 4th pick, and maybe leave Dignitas wondering still.
Could be, but I would have loved to see a Serket instead of that Raijin slot right there. I mean, Serket's so good against Erlang Shen, shuts down the healing coming from his ultimate. We saw the trouble that Sam gave to Qvo last time he played the Habois, so we know that he can play that matchup pretty well. Sam played really well on that pick. I'm surprised they didn't get it.
Did Zap have this beard before the set started? Did he grow that during the set?
The only reason I'm not going to play along with this is because I don't know if you heard, but Tom and Taco were doing a whole bit on SK players' beards at some point.
Were they doing that earlier?
Yeah, they're like, Sam has one that's kind of like he looks kind of like Zap's son because it's similar, but
Oh, this is bad. You're right. Okay, let's get out of here. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
yeah.
Sorry I made
It's
you
not,
guys
it's not that
relieve
it's
that
bad.
at home.
It's just thinner, not in a bad way. Oh God, that's getting worse.
No, that bit's bad. I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree, but
Right.
it's bad for 2 reasons, right? Because it's only going to make Sam feel bad about himself, which he has no reason to do, and because it's just objectively bad to go over anyways.
Yeah, it's uninteresting.
You're
And
kind of 0 for 2.
Yeah, I
if it was gassing Sam and bad, that would be one thing, but it's not even doing that.
No,
you know?
it's absolutely not. As Pele banned out, Dig taking care of this early aggressive jungler as SK elect to go into the Hunter instead. So not so much worrying, and I guess they don't have to. They banned the Artemis out, so there's no need to sort of hold the on her in response. Instead, you go ahead and use the ban there since you're not still sure about Dig's draft. Grab the Hachiman that you know that you want to give over to Zapman, and then just see what Dig have and respond to it from the jungle.
So here we should find out what Dignitas' game plan is on where this Erlang is going and where this Habwa is going. Don't think we'll see a Zeus pick here for Hurriwind. Definitely don't want to be playing Zeus against Osiris Fenrir. That's not a whole lot of fun. They just kind of jump all over you and you don't get to move a whole lot anymore. And with the damage mitigation from Osiris Tether, he's not taking that much damage. So could be something a little bit different, and this would certainly be different. I know, no, Finch, it was so long, they thought the patch happened where Aphrodite's getting buffed.
It hasn't happened.
And it hasn't happened yet.
You know, her cooldown is still normal on the Lovebirds, and the back
no.
off does not always get the slow either. So those are the changes that are going to be coming later on as Batz comes in. You know, I almost thought for sure they picked this too soon and an Odin could come through to maybe punish the Aphrodite, but instead they go right into the Batz.
Yeah. Yeah, Odin would have been real good.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, they should have gone with that. I think. I mean, Unbats is good, but Aphrodite Ultimate gets you out of that Fear No Evil. Even when you're feared, you can still activate that. The Aphro. I mean, look, Unbats builds anti-heal fairly well, so it's not too bad. But this Aphrodite pick, this is how it often goes with healers. It's like, oh well, you think you're gonna heal? I'm gonna be doing the healing. You know, it's gonna be me who's doing the healing, and we'll see how you like it when you don't kill any of us. And Hurriwind has been an Aphrodite player for a long time. He's very, very competent on this selection.
Yeah.
I think the Dignitas has in a draft that can work, but I think after winning that last game, I got to give it to SK.
Wow, right now SK, at least here on the desk, the slight favorites moving into this last match. The best of one, Game 5, it all happens here. Let's get it back to Tom and Taco.
Oh man, it all turns into a single game set now. 2-2. The Aphrodite going to be showing up for Team Dignitas. One of Variety's classic selections. So we'll see if that's him, although it seems like it's going to be Hurry in that mid lane. I don't know, there's a lot going on with these drafts.
Well, if it is Hurriwind with Aphrodite in the mid lane and Qvo back on the Habwa, I don't know, there's just so much flexibility here with those god choices. I think it could even be Trixtank on the Aphrodite support, something bizarre like that, but we're going to find out in a second here, and
It is
will
Hurry
be...
with Afroman. I like it. He will be building a little bit more defensively than we saw the Hell build come out last time around. Normal stuff here for SK in this game. Everybody where they should be. So a nice look for the SK gamers. Has anyone ever called them the SK gamers?
I'm not sure that anybody has ever called them the SK gamers.
Well, they're the SK gamers, Taco.
This is just like, I don't know, it's almost unbelievable that we're at a Game 5 right now. Because I was honestly pretty convinced myself. I was like, do I think SK should have won Game 4 personally? Yeah, but they messed up and got punished for it.
Yeah.
So this is Dig's game now.
Well, now NeilMah's already in trouble. A nice knock-up on the Erlang Shen. Belair still out here dealing it. Trixtank down a half. NeilMah trying to keep it safe.
No more waves. We don't play with those anymore. We just battle here. Nice jump stun from NeilMah. It's going to keep Belair safe for a moment, but with the minion wave now being clashing together, SK Gaming and Dignitas are going to be reminded, those still exist.
This looks like a siege game. Just like fighting, there's minions, but who cares? I want to kill you. The duo lane now here on the short side of the map as our meta has shifted in our Dignitas SK match. Hurriwind will be playing the Aphrodite. Sam for soccer on the party monkey. Paul and Sam, the Monkey Bros. Taco, I'm very happy.
I can tell.
There's two monkeys. Oh man, and I used to say this about the Hun Batz Sun Wukong. Anytime you got a double monk combo, 2 monkeys, not 1 but 2 monkeys.
Go bananas.
Yeah, man, it's slow down. Ape Escape, dude.
Oh man, that's a throwback. That one hit the nostalgia factor. I'm not gonna lie. Belair though, a little bit of trouble. Mink form off the mark, might not make all that much of a
he
difference
dead.
though. Trixtank just gonna auto him down at the end of the day, and Belair, well, we'll see you next time.
Neil just a little bit too far out of that lane. Dignitas really committed to duo laning on the short side. Neil started to rotate a little bit earlier. The 2v1 went in the direction of Team Dignitas, so they were able to start off their 5th game a little bit better.
Dig, just trying to remind SK of what they did to Variety 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
With a little bit taste of their own medicine.
That is how,
I think it's fitting though for Belair to be aggressed into so heavily. When you've got Trixtank on the Erlang support, he doesn't have a whole lot of options other than to try and pressure early on. So I like the direction that Dignitas is already headed with this one. And it keeps the eyes off of Hurriwind for a little bit. But Hurriwind's not out of the neck of the woods just yet. He's got to be careful for sure as Paul loses his Aegis proc.
Hurriwind's relatively safe here. As soon as he hits level 5, obviously even more safe. The 2v3, I don't know about all that. Trixtank already half. So, watch out. NeilMah looks for the stun as the red buff invade comes out from SK Gaming. QvoFred gonna defend, but Sam is still here. Chased away a little bit by the callback. NeilMah says heal on back, so not gonna be the case there. SK Gaming want to walk away.
Sometimes you just got to pick your battles, and for
Yeah.
SK, that's certainly not the one to take. Level 5, go for it.
Yep.
Levels 4, I could think of better ways to spend your time farming.
Yeah, I got to agree with that one for sure.
Someone's popping off.
Finch is excited outside, and I don't know why. Sam for Soccer here. Another blue buff invade coming from Dignitas this time around. Looks like Trixtank was a little bit successful.
Sometimes I forget that, like, they can't hear everything we can. And when Finch enthusiastically screams.
Well, it was
What if it wasn't Finch, though? I thought that was one of the players, honestly.
No, that was 100% Finch. He does the same thing all the time, where he claps loudly and says, "Let's go." Might have even heard it on the broadcast. He goes like this. Well, Paul's in trouble. He's going to get pinned. Ultimate goes around, and that's fine. QvoFred gets out of there. Let's go! Easy for Finch. That's how he does it all the time. So, trust me, it was Finch.
That was actually, I'm not gonna take that one away from you. The accuracy and it was the speed velocity of the claps is what really nailed it for me.
Yeah, man. We spend 40 hours a week together, folks. Sometimes more.
I was about to say, sometimes more than that. It depends.
I mean, these games, this meta has been real long SMITE games. I think it has to do with the enhanced fire giant. It's real difficult to take it down post 25 minutes. That's what it spawns. So it becomes this real difficult dance because you used to be able to tank it while sort of tanking the opposition. Trixtank's in trouble. There's the Fenrir ultimate, bringing him to the rest of SK Gaming. The rest of SK Gaming don't want him, though. Everybody's walking away. Miscommunication as Trixtank deals damage to Paul. The mid laner's in trouble. SK line up in front of their mid laner, but again, it's Dignitas doing the damage to SK. That was rough.
They didn't even get the red buff, or at least I'd have to assume not for SK. No one was able to pick it up. Dignitas didn't waste their time either trying to confirm the red buff first for Hurry. They're going to be able to take SKs in the process, and Zapman could be in trouble here.
Oh, the He-Bolt will miss. The Water Hands will as well, but Raxia finds a shot nonetheless. 2 kills for Team Dignitas in total. And a much better game here for the black and yellow immediately as we start things off in their favor.
Had to take a second here, though, to appreciate the Hurriwind reflexive finger tool on that ultimate for the Aphrodite. Without that, could have been a completely different story entirely there for Hurriwind and Trixtank, but because he gets the ult immunity off in time for the Fear No Evil, Trixtank's also able to use his ultimate in time at this same time, and SK just wind up with a whole lot of nothing for how much they invested.
Yeah, that looked really, and I noticed it immediately. NeilMah picked somebody up, and as he's running towards the team, nobody focused the target. It's almost as if the team said, no, don't bring him over here.
Well, he was carrying the tank, to be fair. I don't know about carrying a level 6 Erlang into your team, because this is arguably the period where Erlang is going to be the strongest.
It's so fun. My friend's cat brought a bird inside the other day, and then it flew around. That's what the team fight reminded me of. Zapman forced out the ult, and Sam's here as well, so Ataraxia won't be very safe. Fear No Evil and Fear No Ataraxia. The rest of Dignitas are here, though. Hebo is available. No blinks, so I don't think Dignitas can catch up. But that's what it looked like. I mean, Big Head, the cat's name is Big Head. Like, the cat just brought this bird in and started flying all around, and NeilMah brings the tank towards his team, and then it turns into a turtle and starts messing with SK. It's a little bit rough, man. Not the greatest look there. Communication breakdown at the very least. And Dignitas take advantage of it and find a quick lead.
Quiet in the solo lane.
For once.
Surprise. Well, Trixtank's about to ruin that.
Here's a gank. Belair, a little bit too healthy for the execute out of the Achilles player. Trixtank finds a taunt ultimate, and Belair will laugh that one away as well. 8 levels for both solo laners, and now we'll visit mid.
NeilMah, though, on the other hand, trying to see if he can make a play happen onto Hurriwind. Beads and Undying Love being forced out, and this time around, Hurriwind will end up falling, but it comes at an expense. NeilMah could not live.
Trade out your support for the mid lane Aphrodite. Not gonna hate that one. Paul, though, knocked up and still being aggressed on by Trixtank. And the mid lane will fall down, so 2 kills for Dignitas for just the 1 out of SK.
This just feels so aggressive now. It's like Dignitas are tired of just being on the receiving end of SK's early game. They're ready to dish a little bit out themselves, and putting Trixtank onto the Erlang is certainly the way to go about it. You have to remember, Trixtank was like one of the original aggressive warrior support runners way back in the day with that Sun Wukong.
We always talk about Aurora being the perennial aggressive support, but you're absolutely right. Sun Wukong and Guan Yu won Trixtank it wasn't a world championship, but it was the tournament before the world championship. Launch tournament March 2014, I believe, maybe 2013, 2014. This team, TSN, win the launch tournament. Sanford Soccer is going to fall down just like that. Nice back off out of Hurriwind. And that was an aggressive play by SK Gaming. So SK can't seem to replicate the power that they had earlier on. Does it have to do with the picks, the comp, or what's going on?
I think this Aphrodite pick kind of just surprised all of them. I don't think that SK were expecting Hurriwind to whip out the Aphrodite. We just got some hell, now we're getting some Afro.
Well, it's interesting because I don't think, Afro has not been the guy. It's been Trixtank. Trixtank and Quvo are running this game.
Healers are good. We just don't see them that often because they require a certain composition at competitive level of play for them to work. But that doesn't mean that they've always been, bad by any means or anything like that. They've definitely always been in a pretty strong position.
And here's the thing, though. And I see Hurriwind down there at the bottom of the player damage, and it's early. And Aphrodite's not necessarily an early game mage. But I noticed something before. He used Lovebirds into the wall just as a complete heal when he was being chased down a hallway. To me, I'm not sure if Hurriwind has the damage instincts on the healer that we saw Paul with the Hell. Very early, and maybe Hurriwind comes through and nails people with the Kiss Birds combo and looks fantastic. But just from one or two plays, I've seen Hurriwind really stick to this utility, I'm a healer not looking for any damage. And if Hurriwind doesn't look for damage, that will hurt this team later on, even if he enables QvoFred or Trixtank to be unkillable. That might be an issue for Dig. If they have low damage out of their mid lane, look for SK to take advantage of that, if that's the case.
It really is just going to come down to a matter of how well can SK pressure Hurriwind, because it's all about pulling that Aphrodite ultimate early.
Yeah.
If you get it out of the way, it's like Kepri. You get that Scared Pulsing out of the way, you get that Afro out of the way, and, well, then you can start to try and take up some aggressive positioning and start to strong-arm these objectives away. But as it currently stands, I like the fact that Hurriwind has not been holding back on pulling that ult.
NeilMah uses his ult, and there's Hurriwind's in exchange. Raijin dealing out some damage. NeilMah very low. The ultimate on a Sam is good. But now the return from Dignitas. Trixtank looking forward. Pins down Zap, who's knocked up. Water hands. Rom to the sky. One shot will hit, and that's about it. And SK Gaming finds safety under their towers.
But now Dignitas could possibly look towards this Gold Fury that's been sitting idly by the whole time. 12.5 minutes deep as well, so they've definitely got some itemization online in time to drop it, but I think that ultimately SK is going to have a tough time trying to contest this Gold Fury.
Well, Dignitas already have it down to about 1/3 of HP. Paul's here, no ultimate available. Still going to throw a shot, but it's all Dig. Right side, Belair's losing the fight. Left side, his team is losing the fight. QvoFred looks for a knock and won't find it. That could be a small window, and Paul identifies it, blinks forward. Still not enough damage. Ride and Belair both barely alive. You want to talk about playing chicken?
Well, Variety was the one tower diving, though, so I think that Belair almost took advantage of a missed chance there from Variety. Was able to lure the Afterlife over the Fatal Strike like we saw, and then kind of just chased him around after that, trying to auto him down. But yeah, solo lane's been a stalemate. It's been all about this mid-jungle play for once between these two teams, and
Yeah.
I think that honestly has helped Dignitas to kind of shake off what happened last game.
It really has. And Dignitas's entrance into this game was really important as well. You know, I always put heavy emphasis on the mental side of the game, maybe too much sometimes, but I think if Dignitas start this game slow, not even necessarily getting first blood, but if they kind of die or don't really get the lead, I think that momentum from game 3 and 4 kind of bites them. Very important that Dig has started the way that they have.
All right, Win, just going to drop that Aphrodite ultimate one more time for the Ragnarok.
He's separate. He's separate. Sam's going to look for him. There's the Fear No Evil. Jump one more time. Overhand smash. And Paul follows up. Kill number 3 for SK Gaming. Variety with the big old flank, though. This is going to turn the fight. Ataraxia from a distance takes down Sam. Variety doesn't even need to use the ultimate, as Raxia has the shots. It's a 4-on-4 push. Dignitas now looking for the red buff invade. Paul low, Neil low. They can't really play defense here.
Everyone low from SK, including Belair, soon to join the ranks. Lord of the Afterlife into the safety of this T1 tower. Dignitas have a lot of damage, and something that SK don't have is anti-heal. They need it now, sooner rather than later, and no one seems to be buying it.
Divine Ruin, it has to be the next item purchased here from Paul. The healing has been important, but honestly, more so than the healing, as Zapman finds a big crit against Raxia. The Ayajutsu is good, and the solo kill for Zap comes out. Zap gets stunned. Zap is done. Actually, the birds don't hit. I thought he had the dodge. Zap turns and fights, and Hurry has to walk away.
Amazed that Zapman managed to survive there, by the way, but he should get out sooner rather than later, because Trixtank is moseying his way on over and will punish Zap if he continues to try and stay in this lane. But Zap, being the Zapman that we all know and love, goes for his purple buff and right back for one more wave.
Easy. Not a big deal at all. Certainly not the performance he had in game number 3. That one you'll be right home. Game number 2, strong performance from Zapman one more time. Game number 5. A little bit more of a return to earth. 2, 1, and 0 for the veteran hunter. Ataraxia has had the better game so far, I think. Some great long-range ultimates, real SMITE plays. I really like Nate here in game number 5.
And I like the way that Dignitas have been biding their time, though. They're not being impatient. They understand that they're rocking the Aphrodite. This is a healer-based composition where Hurry is the target for SK almost every single time, much like how Paul was for Dignitas in the last game. And as long as someone is linked to Hurriwind, he'll typically be okay.
That's true. Gotta have somebody help. NeilMah looking for something. Left side. Rama in trouble. Sam for soccer waiting at the bottom, and Ataraxia dies one more time. Zapman's here. Zapman is there. Kill number 7 for Team Dignitas. SK Gaming find themselves on the retreat. Only a 2,000 gold lead here for Team Dig.
Hunter for Hunter so far, and Paul's next item does not appear to be one of a divine ruin. SK are, I think, playing with fire right now, not prioritizing anti-heal just yet. I have to wonder if it's maybe because they're expecting NeilMah to pick up a cursed Ankh right away now that he's level 12, and so they don't feel like they necessarily needed to rush the anti-heal, because by the time the real team fights are breaking out, it'll be when Neil's able to pick up that relic.
And like I said, what I've seen more so than the healing has been, I mean, sure, it's there.
4,000 worth already, though.
That's
think
not
about
bad.
it as single target healing health,
Exactly.
though. I think that's where it becomes a problem.
And you're right. We need to see anti-heal. But I think honestly, what's made this Aphrodite pick so important and impressive has been the ultimates. If Hurriwind has healed 0 points, he still has done the Aphrodite justice, because the ultimate has gotten him and his team out of so many engagements that, frankly, if he didn't have that Afro ult, I think SK Gaming would have been off to a great lead like they had in games 3 and 4. That Afro ult has negated Sam for soccer his entire choice.
Well, Neil, the entire game so far, I think we've seen, what, maybe 4 or 5 Ragnaroks already from Neil that have been unsuccessful because of Undying Love. It's tough to fight into that.
Big taunt from Trixtank. Around the back end, Dignitas still going to get it. Belair can't find it. That said, SK Gaming focused down Trixtank. He will fall to the hand of the monkey. Hurriwind going forward. Variety connected. There's the stun, and it misses. NeilMah can't find it. Paul gets knocked up. QvoFred here. Ultimate is available, but QvoFred a little bit careful. Staying back. Pushing forward is Dignitas, separating Belair from the rest of the squad. Not a big deal. NeilMah, half HP, no heals this time. And Belair taking a ton of damage from Ataraxia. Sam looks for the flank, gets in trouble. There's a forward teleport. NeilMah in trouble. Variety's here looking for it. Finds one. Variety's here looking for it. QvoFred gets the secondary execute. SK getting slaughtered as Ataraxia falls to the wayside one more time. And Belair trying to escape.
Belair will escape for the moment, but Variety's catching up to him awfully fast. Same with Ataraxia and Hurriwind. That movement speed from being linked to the Aphrodite causing trouble already. SK, what seemed like it was going to be a solid pick onto Trixtank, they wind up losing 3 members and a Gold Fury in the process.
And most importantly, SK Gaming get nothing back. We've seen SK Gaming stay intact in this game, some of the games that they've won, and even some of the games that they've lost, by making sure get some sort of answer back whenever Dignitas was able to kind of get one over them. SK Gaming won't do that. And at 20:30 on the clock, the Fire Giant goes the way of Team Dignitas.
We thought that SK were coming at Dignitas with a vengeance games 3 and 4, but Dignitas aren't just not trying to let anybody challenge them for being number 1. It's not that, this game's going to put SK into a position in the standings where they're above Dignitas, but it'd be the first set loss.
And it'd be a giant statement for SK Gaming. Earlier in the week, I got a chance to talk to NeilMah about how he felt about this set. And he said, look, a lot of people are putting us in the middle of the pack, and that's where we are, but we think that we're a better team than than most teams out there. And he said, we think we're a top team, he thinks we're a top contender. And it's funny because, you know, every player is going to say that, right? No team's going to be like, well, you know, we actually think we suck. Like, that's not going to happen. But Neil has a way, and when you talk to these players, you can kind of feel it. He's like, look, I know everybody's going to say that, but real talk, we are a great team, and we're going to win. When I asked him about Dignitas specifically, he's like, look, man, this is where we prove to everybody. Because SK in their minds have already proven to folks that they are better than people expected them to be in the beginning of the season. And I think everybody is on board. And now SK's like, not only are we better than that, we're like a 1 or 2 team. And everybody's like, I don't know about that. And SK are like, here, this is proof. Game 5 is a little bit rough, though.
And Dignitas are just trying to keep this steam ball
Oh
rolling. Belair's going to end up falling. A giant water spout from a triple.
Is that game?
That might be game. Trixtank's 3-man taunt might have just signed off for SK.
That might just be it. A beautiful taunt. A wonderful knock-up. How pretty the sky is. I had to go there on a rocket. That never comes down. Team Dignitas walking into the throne room. SK Gaming will try as they may, and they will fall down. Hurriwind's given a clap. Team Dignitas take the set in 5 harrowing games.
So I just want to make sure I'm right on this, right? So that was, Hell was played and she won, and then Afro was played and she won, and whew.
You want to know what, though? It's funny. Again, Aphrodite healing, sure. The ultimate saved her this game. The healing from Hell was a big deal last one. But SK Gaming, listen, this is one, guys, the guys got to feel good about that. The guys have to feel strong. If you're an SK Gaming fan, you've got to have faith in the squad. And if you're a Dignitas fan, you've got to be breathing a sigh of relief and say, we're still number 1, baby. We ain't going nowhere.
Dig's breathing a sigh of relief right now, even. I think that for a moment, they were starting to really get concerned about whether or not they'd be able to finish off this set with a victory. But ultimately, I think that they just got the ball rolling early on, and that just became too problematic. This Fenrir strategy from SK, I think, just got completely trounced by the Afro ultimates.
The Aphrodite won this game, and again, it everything to do with the ultimate. Having 2 beads and being able to use beads for your teammate, that's next level there. But SK Gaming certainly fight it out here. Fantastic stuff as the teams exchange their respects. And Sam and Paul, again, Paul I think had a strong game on that Hell without a doubt. Zapman had a strong game when he was able to kind of carry himself 5 levels above the opposition.
I'm excited to keep seeing what the healers can do in Season 6.
A lot of cool stuff here coming out, I think, from SK and Team Dignitas, who take the set. And again, Dig just solidify, yes, we are number 1, and y'all got to be scared.
It's up to them to catch up. It's up to the rest of the league now to catch up.
Well, this one, nobody's catching up. 5 games deep. And it all goes to Team Dignitas. Let's look to Finch for the breakdown.
Man, you do not get to 6-0 easily by any means at all. There's a 62-minute behemoth in the way, and you finally got to take down a strong team like SK Gaming, but Dignitas did it. And really, for me, I think a lot of it does come down to this Inbots pick for Sanford Soccer at the end of the draft. This Aphrodite was so strong into it multiple times, able to get at the Fear No Evil. I mean, is that how you saw it? What stood out for you here in this last game?
It was the Aphrodite, and I completely agree with you that the Hunbats pick is exactly what SK did not need to win that game. I think the Odin selection, if that's an Odin, and Sam's comfortable on it, of course, that caveat. But I feel like if that's an Odin, maybe they shift Fenrir into the jungle and give Odin over to NeilMah. It's the same sort of style, aggressive in the early game, not as much CC, of course, but same sort of warrior style, and you end up winning that game, I think, if you're SK. And that hurts to lose a Game 5 against a Dignitas team that's previously undefeated. This would have really catapulted SK, given them a lot of momentum. So it definitely hurts, but they also got to Game 5 against Dignitas and had a chance. So I think overall a disappointment for SK today, but not one that they can't recover from.
And this may not be horseshoes, but close does still count for something. This will help them in the plus-minus column, that they at least were able to go all the way to 5 and grab some wins here. If it ever gets close between them, Splice, and United, or some of the other teams right around that area, this is still big for them. But you're right, there's got to be some frustration knowing they got this close to beating the best team in the league and couldn't quite close it out. And in all honesty, in a tough fashion too, right? I mean, every other game this set was at least 30+ minutes, and then to all of a sudden come in and get just run over in game number 5 and kind of have a collapse because they couldn't handle the Aphrodite. I mean, they really did try, and there were a lot of concerted efforts to get to Hurriwind and slow him down, but it just wasn't enough.
I think it was all Trix this game too, and I mean not all Trix, of course, but a large part of it was Trixtank.
Sure.
And I wonder if that 3-man taunt. I mean, Zap speeds are down. Belair, NeilMah, all right in front of this Aphrodite-linked Erlang Shen. Definitely feels like a mental misstep, if you will. Wonder if that happens in game 1,
sure,
game 2. I mean, mental fatigue is a real thing, and I think that all it takes is a moment where you lose focus and lose concentration and end up getting in your own head a little bit. And Trixtank, I think, caught SK Gaming a little bit off guard.
And honestly, I thought that SK had the slightly less execution-heavy composition. I was really worried, picking something like those raw snipes, you really gotta be able to focus in and picking their timing when to dive on this Erlang Shen, and the Hobwa can be so difficult to pilot too. And instead, it was really Dignitas that were the ones that were able to close this game out. They're able to stay focused long enough to be able to grab this win. Again, I don't think you get to be at the top of the SPL, man, easily. It's not free at all.
No.
And this team's absolutely earned it.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And I think that as we continue to grow, and thinking back to Ataraxia's pregame comments roughly 30 years ago,
right,
he was talking about how it's really cool how the meta is evolving every single week. The healers are coming. We saw Hell and Afro, and that's before they get buffed.
Have not even been buffed.
Hey, everyone, remember Odin is a character.
Sure.
Remember to buy Cursed Ankh.
Yes,
remember
get something to help out with.
Prioritize anti-heal. These are things that will help you.
And it's just tough to pick someone into it who's so reliant on being able to keep you inside that CC chain. If Unbots isn't getting you with that Fear No Evil and you're able to reposition and move around, then he doesn't do that much at all. That's what really felt so difficult about the pick. Even if it's not him, someone who can more reliably maybe stick to the Aphrodite, just do damage, and not have to worry about fighting through that Undying Love could still be strong.
Yeah, if you look at Hunbat's first 3 buttons and first 3 abilities that he has, and you take it, if you're evaluating gods exclusively without their ultimates, Hunbat's might be one of the worst.
I think so too, yeah.
He really doesn't bring that much. It's only damage. It's a little bit of CC, but that's on a leap. You're there to use your ultimate, and when the enemy character negates your ultimate, then you're probably not going to have a very good game. I don't think that Sam could have done much more to have a better game.
That was very tough for SK, but what an impressive set for them to at least get that close, even though they couldn't grab the win. The guys who had got to imagine they were feeling pretty good are Team Dignitas to finally be able to close this set out. I understand we have Hurriwind and Trixtank actually standing by for the interview.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tom Battinger here, and of course, you've got Trixtank and Hurriwind. Dignitas, you guys won. You guys are undefeated, but this looked like it was the most difficult set you guys have played yet. Was it, and why?
No, I think the Splice set was the most difficult. I think we had the 4th game where we wanted it to be in the end, and we just ended up throwing it really badly. But no, we're hard, like under pressure. We're usually really good, but SK is definitely the best at just playing the early game amazingly, and they did so in those 2 games. And they won because of that. And whenever we figured out the early game, we decided just time to put out the Erlang to get the pressure back, and then ended the set.
Moving forward as a team, though, from victories like this one today, that's got to be a good feeling for the team as a whole. But do you feel like some of the other teams are starting to catch up to where you guys are already at?
I think in a way some of the other teams are sort of catching up. I also think that SK, this set is probably not the best example. We kind of anticipated this to be a kind of hard set for us because they are really good where we are not very good. So it's kind of matchup based, I think, with SK. I do think people are definitely getting better. We see some roster changes as well. So I think over time we'll see people come together, but it really is hard to say.
Everybody kind of improving, and I think, it's easy to lean on the Season 6, everything is land, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, honestly, Trix, you're playing like the old TSM days, and Tyler, I don't think I've seen you play this strong. We were joking before we went live, and you guys kind of two-handedly, won game number 5. Where is this energy coming from?
I'm not sure. I think in the start, me and Tyler had a really hard time getting along, honestly, like in-game and outside the game, honestly, and we solved that. And we've been talking a lot, and we're getting closer, and actually we're really close now. I would say so, at least personally and in game. And we just try to focus on that in the game as well, like pick a good 2v2 matchup and just win the game from our good 2v2. Yeah.
Well, with everything ending the way that it did today, I'm sure you guys are going to have a little bit of room to celebrate. But who do you think is going to be the next team to really drag you out to that Game 5?
If I had to pick a team that's left that we have to play, I would say it's probably United. They have a new roster, so we'll see. I don't think they'll be as hard as SK, so it might be MSI that we see that, hopefully.
Well, big stuff out of you guys today. Trixtank, Hurriwind, congrats on the win. We'll catch you next time.
Well, great to hear from those guys, and really great to hear, you know, they sort of have this relationship developing as well, and that you get to see it, the out-of-game relationship affecting them positively in the game as well, too. So that's really awesome. A big win for Dignitas that you can tell means a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, to stay undefeated is, look, they know it's not the most important thing to have that 0 in the loss column, but it feels real good to have a 0 in the loss column. So if you can keep a hold of that and stay in that zone, you want to do it as long as you can.
And you heard what they said, man. They are working towards that mid-season invitational as well. Let's actually get the standings up. This is a great time to talk about those. Remember, we're only taking the top 6 teams from the SPL into that mid-season invitational, and right now, defending champion Splice wouldn't even be in that cutoff. They still have a lot more SMITE to play. Obviously, they've only played 2 games so far, and, I mean, it's just not going to be easy, man. I mean, look at the top 6. I mean, Space Station have looked a little bit better lately. It might not be easy to break in there.
I mean, only 2 sets so far for Splice. That is not a lot for them,
It's not.
but you're right. I mean, they've got to start making up some ground. I think that once they get the ball rolling, though, they'll be just fine. I'd be shocked if Splice finishes outside the top 6.
I would be too, that they'll have the Renegades to contend with once they're ready to get going too. Those guys, I think, are just about all ready as well. Let's get the schedule up one more time so you can take a look at which games are coming next week. And speak of the devil, the Renegades are absolutely there, so you'll get to see them next week. Trifecta will be their first test, and then SK Gaming will be a test for them as well. Splice, who we also just mentioned, have a big game up against SK Gaming, who we just saw how strong they are, taking Dignitas all the way to the end of that 5th game.
That feels like a must-win for Splice right now. I mean, sitting 0-2, it feels bad to say the defending world champions need to win their 3rd game, but I mean, you have to start making up some ground pretty soon. Very excited to get a chance to finally see Renegades in action.
Me too.
And seeing what they can bring.
That's right, man. We talk. Land Cheerio is a thing of legend, isn't it? Right? Because he's been playing from D-Dips for so long, and that's the only Cheerio we get now. We're spoiled. We're going to get him sort of at that peak value. Hoping my man can relax a little bit, though. So sometimes he seemed a little bit on edge. So hopefully we'll get relaxed
Cheerio. He's fine. That's his constant state of being. Like Finch, if you weren't constantly ready to die on any hill over any
literally anything,
like any point at all, then you wouldn't be you. You know, it just wouldn't be how you operate.
Yeah. Speaking of having some fun, actually here now and at home, you all can get to have some more fun too. We got a couple of great skins in that Battle of Olympus pack, so make sure that you pick that up. The Pop Punk Hell and the Fenrir skin are both in there. I'm really excited about the Pop Punk Hell because again, she's in the Pop form in the Night Stance and the Punk form in the Dark Stance, Decay Stance.
Which stance do you think would fit in better as a Fallout boy, either like cover band or groupie or something like that?
Well, if you bring the Pop version, they did once work, not with Katy Perry. Who's the other one? The other short, Demi Lovato worked with them one time. There we go. Wow, I can't believe I got there. So you can have them on there, but the Punk probably obviously fits to their roots. But also make sure that you come meet us at Hi-Res Expo. If you want to talk to me about Fallout Boy and all the things I love about them in person, because why wouldn't you? They're the best band there's ever been, and I love them. Then come to Hi-Res Expo. Get your tickets, come hang out with me, and Ryan will even have a drink with you. That's guaranteed.
That's right. And the way that works, by the way, is I'm going to have a water bottle. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll have a drink with you. Yep, that's the one.
So is it like at a bar, like a regular drink then? That's what it sounds like. I mean, that's just the implication.
I just tried to
it sounds like I'm being told over my headset that I'm good to throw and end the day. So that means that, everyone can think that. The thing that I just implied, and you want to have a chance to make up for it or anything like that.
Make sure you read your terms and conditions on that. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you guys for joining the SPL. Make sure that you watch us again. We're going to be back again next week, obviously. Console, SML, and they're going to have the SPL Thursdays and Fridays. So thanks again for watching. Go ahead and peach it for me, Jared.
See ya!
The SMITE Pro League, brought to you by Titan Forge, Hi-Res Studios, iNow, Respawn, SteelSeries, Alienware, and Skillshot.